On the news tonight, INEC postpones governorship and state assembly elections. IGP assures of adequate security in the coming polls. Governor Adeleke releases over 1.56 billion naira worth of bonds to retirees. EU kicks off inbound air shipment to Europe. Good evening, welcome to the Major Report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. The Independent National Electoral Commission has announced that the governorship and House of Assembly elections have been postponed till March 18. This followed the rejection by the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal of the request by Mr. Peter Obi and his Labour Party to restrain INEC from reconfiguring the bimodal voter accreditation system for the governorship poll in 28 states and assembly election in 36 states of the Federation. Obi, the LP presidential candidate, and the party had approached the tribunal to stop INEC from tampering with information embedded in the beavers' machines in respect of the February 25 presidential election until they conduct their inspection and the certified true copy is made available to them. But the commission said that the ruling by the tribunal to allow them to reconfigure the beavers for the governorship election came rather too late, adding that it has to take the painful decision to reschedule the election. Meanwhile, Nigerians have called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to be diligent and ensure that the coming governorship and state assembly elections are free, fair, and credible. The spokesperson for Osbc News stated this against the backdrop of the postponement of the governorship and state assembly elections by INEC. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga has details.
Reactions have continued to trail the postponement of gubernatorial and state houses of assembly elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as many believe that the postponement of the elections is due to the electoral umpire's inadequacies. According to the electoral body, the election will now hold on the 18th of this month, adding that the decision for the postponement is due to the Commission's inability to earnestly commence reconfiguration of the bimodal voter accreditation system utilized during the February 25th presidential and National Assembly elections to enable their use in the state's elections. Speaking on this development, a public affairs commentator, Mr. Kehinde Famoyi, noted that though it is not the first time that the electoral body will postpone election, noted that the INEC should have factored the Political Operators Act in its initial plan. He added that the postponement of the election must have disrupted the social engagement and well-being of many, noting that many would have hoped that the election will hold on the 11th of March, the initial date before the postponement.
Definitely, it's going to have a lot of effect. I would rather blame the politicians. Beavers is a new technology to us. And unfortunately, they gave 2 weeks window after the presidential and National Assembly election to the gubernatorial and the state house of assembly election. They gave 2 weeks. But because of the people who are brewing up for litigations, but where you lost, you are saying this thing is not working.
Also speaking on this development, another public affairs analyst, Dr. Adeola Ayola, noted that the postponement of the gubernatorial and state houses of assembly election shows that INEC didn't make proper planning. Dr. Ayola admonished the electoral umpire to work more on its database to make it impossible to hack.
Their preparation was not enough. And aside from that, this INEC, I believe INEC does not have a strong database like NIN, this ID card, whatever. Because ID card, if you do it somewhere, if you get to another place you want to do it, you bring your data. I don't think INEC have that. So with the beavers or whatever, if they have a good database, strong database, if hackers hack their whatever and all those things, they will have a kind of shock absorber.
The respondent urged Nigerians not to be discouraged by the development and ensure they come out en masse and vote the candidates of their choice come Saturday, 18th of March, 2023. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, OSBC News.
In another development, The Federal High Court in Lagos has ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to directly and electronically upload from the polling units to the IREF the results of the forthcoming governorship and State House of Assembly elections in Lagos State. Justice Peter Lifu gave the order while delivering judgment on a suit filed by the Labour Party and 41 others in which they sought an order of mandamus to compel INEC to obey the Electoral Act and its guideline for the conduct of the elections. The judge held that the court has the jurisdiction to entertain the suit because it was commenced in accordance with the provisions of the law. Osho State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has concluded the mop-up rally for candidates of the People's Democratic Party ahead of the State Assembly election. Addressing members of the public in Osogbo and Irabiji, Governor Adeleke said the Assembly elections is strategic to entrenching his administration for delivery of good governance. Governor's Office correspondent Abraham Adekelekun completes the story.
Governor and his entourage were received at Edroaban in Ife North local government area. The visibly elated people cheered the governor, who had a road show. Shortly after paying homage on the Ogunsua of Modakeke in council, the governor moved to the Palace Square, where he appreciated the people and solicited their continued support. He assured them that what he has been able to achieve in just 100 days in office is just a tip of the iceberg if they vote massively for the candidate of the PDP in the State Assembly poll. Flanked by the caretaker chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Osun State, Dr. Akindele Adekunle, and the secretary, Otumba Femi Karina, Honorable Sunday Bisi, and the Southwest coordinator of Atiku Okowa Women Campaign Group, Yeyelu Adupe Adeleke Soni, Governor Demola Adeleke reiterated the readiness of the PDP administration in Osun State to serve the people regardless of political party affiliations. The campaign train moved to Lagire and Sabo in Ile-Ife, where jubilant members of the public had been waiting for the governor's address. Senator Adeleke said his administration, apart from the regular payment of workers' salaries as well as the January and February 2016 half-salaries arrears that his administration inherited, his government has commenced the reconstruction of Enuwa Oniyangi Okeatan with spur to Ilode Junction in Ile-Ife, among several other projects. Senator Adeleke appealed to people of Ife to show their love again on Saturday by voting for the candidates of the PDP as lawmakers so as to entrench his government for better service delivery. In Ilesha, the message was the same. Senator Ademola Adeleke thanked the people of Ijesha land for their uncommon show of love, saying by the time his administration takes off fully with PDP candidates elected as members of the State House of Assembly, they will experience good governance that is people-oriented. In their Southwest Women Coordinator of Atiku Okowa campaign, Yeyelu Adupe Adeleke Soni, chairman of the caretaker State Working Committee of PDP in Osun State, Dr. Adekunle Akindele, and Honorable Sunday Bisi thanked the people for standing by the PDP in the last general election, which resulted in the emergence of 3 senators and 9 representatives elect. They enjoined the electorate to go out en masse on Saturday, 11th March, to vote for the PDP. It has been Abdurrahim Adekiliko reporting.
Ahead of March 18 governorship State Assembly elections, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has directed all commissioners of police and strategists for the conduct of the poll to mobilize all resources at their disposal for the smooth conduct of the exercise nationwide. This was contained in a statement made available to newsmen in Abuja by the First Public Relations Officer, CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi. The statement said that it was in furtherance of the meeting held with strategic police managers in Abuja to discuss and review topical issues and strategies for more secured electoral processes. Eminent professor of law Ise Sage has said that the Central Bank of Nigeria's governor Godwin Emefiele is in contempt if he has not issued a directive to banks to pay and accept old 1,500 naira notes as ordered by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has held that the old 200, 500 and 1,000 naira notes will remain legal tender until December 31 and coexist with the new ones. Speaking at a special media parley on the activities of the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, which he chairs, Professor Sagai restated that every Supreme Court order is binding on all. Senator Ademola Adeleke said his administration has released a sum of 1.58 billion naira for the bond certificate for retired workers of both state. 50 million naira has equally been released as gratuities to retirees of local governments, primary and secondary schools, tertiary institutions, and civil servants. The governor stated this at the presentation of bond certificate to contributory pensioners in the state at the Local Government Service Commission Hall. Governor's office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekilekun now completes the story.
19 retirees, 40 are going to civil service, parastatals and tertiary institutions are being given their bond certificate totally 652,555,655.
It was another historic occasion as public servants who retired from the state and local government public service were presented with bond certificates by the governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke. The governor, who frowned at the way past government handled the welfare of workers and retirees alike, said any administration that failed in the welfare of its citizenry is a failed government, while apologizing to the senior citizens for the ill treatment gotten from his predecessor. Senator Adeleke said the focus of his administration is how best to resolve the outstanding workers-related debts, which he pledged to clear.
Permit me to first apologize on behalf of Osun State for our pensioners for the ill treatment of the past. It is unacceptable for a government to treat its pensioners the way the past government had done. I have decided never to follow that path.
Earlier in his welcome address, the head of service, Mr. Anyeleye Aina, frowned at the habits of politicians who usually place premiums on capital projects at the expense of welfare of workers in terms of salaries, pensions, and gratuities, but commended Senator Ademola Adeleke for being outstanding among others.
Currently, it's over 50 million naira is now being released monthly for constituency as against the earlier 165 million. That's what he said. Similarly, 100 million naira is being released monthly as gratuities. Other government scheme as against the former 50 million. As for the local government service, the monthly sum of 400 million has been approved by the governor for the new pension scheme, while 150 million is being released under the old pension scheme. Mr. Governor, it is very important to mention also that the state government has continued the regular payment of monthly pension at the state level and the NG levels. Every month, the pension range is around 500 million every month for pension. At the NG level, it's around 248 million every month. Excellency, there is some belief and prayer that sooner than later, the issue of backlog of pay salaries and pension shall be a thing of the past.
Also speaking, Chairman of the Contributory Pensioners in Osun State, Mr. Gbenga Oyadari, said members of the association have nothing but gratitude for the governor who came to their rescue since August 2016.
Only pensioners in Osun State. We don't have any other thing to say now. Thank you very much.
High point of the event was the presentation of bond certificates by the governor to the retirees. It has been Abdurrahim Adekilekun reporting.
Nigerian women have been admonished to brace up for the digital world by learning digital skills needed to survive the ever-changing global economy. This formed the crux of discussion at a program organized by Shepherd for Health, Environment, Advocacy and Development Center in Okuku to mark the 2023 International Women's Day celebration. Oluchi Amuda completes the story.
The 2023 International Women's Day celebration, with the theme Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality, seeks to recognize and celebrate women and girls who are championing the advancement of transformative technology and digital economy. Research has shown that 37% of women do not have access to internet, indicating that 259 million fewer women have access to the internet than men, even though they account for nearly half of the world's population. To address this issue, a non-governmental organization, Shepherd for Health, Environment, Advocacy and Development Shared Center, organized a program in Okuku, Oduoti local government area of Osun State, to celebrate the 2023 International Women's Day and empower women with digital skills needed to survive the ever-changing business world. Addressing the gathering, the head of the group, Mr. Babatunde Olaniyan, who was represented by the program manager, Mr. Joseph Abioye, stated that the inability of women to develop the necessary digital skills to engage in digital spaces diminishes their opportunities to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics-related areas, adding that by 2050, 75% of jobs will be related to those areas.
Whatever you are doing now is going to be in the aspect of technology, and as the theme of the year is Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. We want to ensure that all our women are also involved in technology and also in creativity as well.
Speaking in the same vein, one of the board of directors of Shared Center, Mrs. Bola Bewaji Mole, admonished Nigerian women to learn from the current challenges being faced in the country occasioned by the cashless policy and learn to embrace technology so that their businesses will not suffer.
I expect women to embrace this digital technology the more. A lot of their goods have been wasted over the past 2-3 weeks because they will not accept transfer. And the customers are not forthcoming with cash.
Other speakers at the event, including High Chief Taye Oyeride, who stood in for the Okuku of Okuku, Aba Samuel Abioye, and the Yalodi of Okuku Chief Abidem Yomedian, enjoined women to take advantage of the training aimed at improving their access to economic, educational, and social opportunities. Two of the participants, Mrs. Yetunde Asha and Mrs. Esther Yodele, expressed appreciation to the management of Center for Health, Environment, Advocacy, and Development Center for the life-changing opportunity given to them to learn digital skills.
I've learned about how to advertise our market through our Android phone through the means of technology.
I've learned a lot of things.
Participants were trained on how to carry out business branding and marketing using technology, practical soap making session, and catering services, among others. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
Lagos State Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu has declared 3 days of mourning for those who died in the BRT train accident today. A BRT bus conveying workers of the Lagos State government to the State Secretariat, Alausa Ikeja, earlier today was involved in a fatal accident as it collided with a train at the PWD bus stop. Bus number 33, which conveyed 85 state government workers and was coming from Isolo and heading to Alausa, had two dead on the spot, while 4 later died at the Lagos State Teaching Hospital in Kenya. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who visited victims at the hospital, also announced the suspension of all political campaigns and ordered half-day work for the state workers starting from tomorrow at 12 p.m., just as he equally ordered the flag to be flown at half-mast. Meanwhile, the federal government has directed the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau to launch an immediate investigation into the root cause of the collision between a train and a staff bus of the Lagos State government that occurred in the area of the state today. The directive was revealed by the Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika will express condolences to those affected by the tragedy and pray for a quick recovery of the injured, urging the public to cooperate with the investigation team. Now welcome to our sports segment. Morocco is ready to boycott the 2023 Under-17 African Cup of Nations, which will take place in Algeria if the team is not allowed to fly directly to the host country. Omotayo Adebodun has details of this and more from the world of sports.
Morocco is ready to boycott the 2023 Under-17 African Cup of Nations, which will take place in Algeria if the team is not allowed to fly directly to the host country. Algeria will host the competition from April 29 to May 19th. Earlier this year, Algeria deprived Morocco's team of participating in CHAN by refusing to allow the Atlas Lions to fly directly from Rabat to Constante. Nigeria, Zambia, Morocco, and South Africa are in Group B of the AFCON Under-17, and Group B matches will be played in the city of Constante in Algeria. Meanwhile, Corentin Diacre has been sacked as manager of the French women's national team 4 months before the World Cup. Diacre, who is 48 years apart after several key players, including captain Wendy Renard, said they would no longer represent their country. The French Football Federation announced Diacre's exit and said the situation was irreversible. Diacre had vowed to carry on and denounce what she described as a smear campaign against her. In their statement, the French Football Federation said a 4-person committee had been commissioned to examine the runnings of the national women's team following the criticism from Renard and her teammates. The commission will also be tasked with selecting a new head coach for France ahead of the 2023 Women's World Cup, which begins in Australia and New Zealand on the 20th of July. France are in Group F alongside Brazil, Jamaica, and Panama. Under Diacre, France have not reached a major finals and lost to Germany in the Euro 2020 semi-finals. In the meantime, Emma Raducanu will hopefully be able to play in the India Wales, but says last year's wrist problem has returned. The 20-year-old British #1 is due to play Danka Kovacic of Montenegro today in the 16,000 capacity Stadium 1. But Raducanu had strappings on both her wrists during yesterday's 1-hour practice section with her coach Sebastian Serge. The initial injury, which forced Raducanu to end last season early and miss the Billie Jean Skin Cup final in Glasgow, only affected her right wrist. Fresh concerns about her wrist follows a bout of tonsillitis, which cost Raducanu the chance to play in last week's ATX Open in Austin, Texas. Raducanu, the 2021 US Open champion, has been able to play just 4 matches so far this season. Omotayo Adebodun for Osbc News.
The European Union kicked off the second phase of its inbound air shipment to Europe in order to protect against security and safety threats from goods entering the Union. Olawumi Okolawon has details of the story and more on the foreign scene.
By air, to and fro, the EU must provide a complete set of entry summary declaration data on the goods prior to their arrival at the EU external border. It must be done through the ICS2 system, which is gradually replacing the EU's existing import control system between 2021 and 2024. Failure by affected economic operators to obtain the necessary data from their clients and to provide it to the import control system will lead to actions by custom authorities to enforce compliance prior to and fro on arrival at the external border. In DR Congo, at least 36 people were killed during an overnight attack on a village in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the country. A local official and the head of a civil society group said the assailants were believed to be members of the Allied Democratic Forces, a Ugandan army group based in Eastern DRC that has pledged allegiance to ISIL and wages frequent deadly raids on villages. The attacks targeted the country of Mukondi, south of the city, and of Benin in North Kivu province, an area plagued with rebel activities and which has been under military administration since 2021 in an attempt to restore order. The head of a local civil society group, Mumbere Limbado Asin, gave a provisional death toll of 44, including women, children, and the elderly, and said several villagers were still missing. Olaomi Okolawon, Osbc News.
To end the major report on Osbc TV, here again are the main points. INEC postponed governorship and state assembly elections till March 18. Inspector General Police assures of adequate security in the coming polls. Governor Ademola Adeleke releases over 1.56 billion worth of bonds to retirees. EU TV, it was edited by Kayode Adebayo. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Good night.